Welcome back for another Star Wars Worst to First Countdown. Today, we'll be ranking the second wave of Star Wars releases, including the figures released in 1978 and 1979. Our countdown will be made up mostly of the 20-back figures, along with one 21-back and a playset exclusive variant figure. We have droids, aliens, and bounty hunters galore. So without further ado, let's count them down from the very worst to the very best Star Wars action figures. Coming in at the bottom of our list is the Death Star Droid. He may be shiny and present fairly well, but the Death Star Droid action figure has a lot of points against it. First and foremost, this figure is not the Death Star Droid. That's this guy. The droid Kenner decided to name the Death Star Droid is actually a junk robot that showed up on the Jawa Sandcrawler for about 3 seconds. In addition, this figure suffers from every durability issue an action figure can have. The paint is generally applied badly, and it scratches easily, and the chrome itself is not very durable either. To top it off, his limbs are notorious for becoming too loose, preventing him from standing. A loose mint Death Star Droid is valued at $35, mostly because they're impossible to find in nice shape. A carded figure will go for $375. Dead mint examples of the Death Star Droid are valued at $900. So, flimsy, badly painted, and not even the character he's advertised to be, ultimately lands the Death Star Droid at the bottom of our list. Barely edging past Death Star Droid to take the number 9 spot on our list is Walrus Man. Now, this mishmash of an action figure barely resembles his movie counterpart. His butt-for-a-mouth tusks are the only thing matching his character in the movie. The rest doesn't even come close to his movie likeness, and is hardly the attire you'd choose to hang out in a wretched hive of scum and villainy. If you showed up at the Creature Cantina in flipper boots and an orange turtleneck onesie, you wouldn't even last as long as the real Walrus Man did against Ben Kenobi. Loose mint Walrus Man goes for $16, with carded figures going for $500. Mint examples of Buttface go for as much as $1,400. This disaster of a figure is saved by the fact that it comes with a cool gun and is exceptionally durable. Because these minor positives, Walrus Man barely escapes landing at the bottom of our list. Hanging around at number 8, we find Snaggletooth. Due to his height, it's easy to mistake Snaggletooth for a bad rendition of KB, the Bat-Mouse-looking patron in the Creature Cantina. In reality, he is a barely glimpsed character featured much more prominently in the infamous Star Wars Holiday Special. What this figure takes away from in height, it gives back to him in hair. His skin tone has gone from a brown to a pasty gray. He has on a completely different outfit and, for some odd reason, has ditched his shoes. This guy is a onesie away from being Walrus Man bad. Loose mint Snaggletooth will run you about $17 with carded figures priced at $300. Carded mint examples can go for as much as $800. So, despite being unfamiliar to everyone except those unfortunate enough to remember the Star Wars Holiday Special, Snaggletooth is saved from the indignity of being ranked worse than a sea animal in an orange turtleneck by having a cool belt buckle. Clocking in at number 7 is everyone's favorite slow-on-the-draw bounty hunter, Burrito. Another fashion misfire is somewhat redeemed by a great head sculpt. Unfortunately, the head comes with some drawbacks as well. His antennae are flimsy to the point of breaking off when you open him up in the back of your dad's station wagon before you arrive home to play with him for the first time. Greedo is sculpted as left-handed for inexplicable reasons, and he traded in his cool tech vest for a lime green bodysuit. Throw in some disco boots, and you have yourself another epic action figure fail. Loose Mint Greedo goes for $18, with carded examples running a respectable $600. Carded mint figures are valued as much as $1,250. Featured in one of the most contentious scenes in movie history certainly boosts Greedo's visibility. Getting blown away by Han Solo is much cooler than having your arm chopped off by an old wizard. His cinematic infamy, along with a cool face, place him ahead of other marginally realized Cantina creatures. But inaccuracies and a disastrous sense of style keep Greedo in the bottom half of our countdown. Our first respectable figure clocks in at number 6 with R5-D4. This figure has all the same deficiencies as R2-D2, who was featured in our first countdown. His sticker is easily damaged, especially by water, and his hollow body traps water, which commonly rusts the screw inside. Unlike R2, R5-D4's head sculpt is a pretty good representation of his movie likeness. He also has a wonderful clicking noise, making him that much more fun to play with. Loose Mint R5-D4 will cost you $18, with carded figures priced around $350. Mint carded examples can cost up to $850. So, our list leaps from badly rendered obscurity to respectability in a single bound. R5-D4 may not be high on our list, but his playability and movie-accurate sculpt put it light years ahead of our previous figures. You might even find yourself tempted to leave R2 behind and let the superior figure take his place as C-3PO's counterpart when it's time to play. Our first hero shows up at number 5. Luke, X-Wing pilot, is one of the few major characters who appear in this action figure release. Now, Luke's head sculpt is sketchy. The helmet does not live up to its movie awesomeness, losing most of its detail. And for some unknown reason, his visor is underneath the helmet, but the rest of the costume is spot on. His closed-loop hand is great for holding a weapon, but not very good at anything else. X-Wing Luke's main selling point is he's made to go inside the X-Wing fighter. Who is going to complain about a loopy hand when you're flying around in the coolest-looking rebel ship in the galaxy? Loose Mint Luke X-Wing pilot will run you about $30, with a carded figure costing around $350. Carded mint examples of X-Wing Luke can go for as much as $850. He may only be an accessory to another toy, but what a toy it is. If you're flying around a first-generation X-Wing, you can be sure Luke is the man in the cockpit. At number 4, we have an example of a Cantina creature done correctly in Hammerhead. An argument could be made against his blue swimsuit, but the rest of the figure is just too incredible to ignore. The shark-influenced head is easily the coolest-looking alien in the Cantina scene, and the detail in the body sculpt of Hammerhead is the best since Chewbacca, who appeared in the number 6 spot on our first countdown. Throw in an ambiguous look on his face, and you turn a background prop into an intriguing character. Is he up to no good, or just giving you the stink eye? It doesn't matter, because either way, Hammerhead still looks awesome. Loose Mint Hammerheads cost around $12, with carded examples priced at $350. Carded mint figures can garner up to $1,000. Now, he doesn't really do anything in the movie, but he's probably still one of the aliens you remember from Creature Cantina. It's because he looks awesome, and so does this action figure. dark horse at number 3, the collectability of the blue variant Snaggletooth puts him in the top third of our list. From a production standpoint, Blue Snaggletooth is an epic misfire. He can best be appreciated from the perspective of he's so bad, he's good. He was created from a black and white production photo, which explains the total inaccuracy of the figure. First, he's blue. Also, he's taller than he's supposed to be, unlike his red-suited counterpart. A definite upgrade are his awesome and completely inexplicable silver boots, which are highly prized in mint condition. If it's 1978 and you don't have a clue what a character looks like from the waist down, you can't go wrong with knee-high platform Kiss boots. Loose mint blue Snaggletooth goes for $350. There is a toe dent, no toe dent variant, but it doesn't have any bearing on the price. Blue Snags was only available in the Sears Cantina Adventure set, so don't waste your time trying to find a carded example. So, does this magnificent disaster deserve such a high spot on our list? Well, you can decide for yourself. But for us here at Worst to First, Blue Snaggletooth is one of the most sought-after collector's items on the list, and that gives him a big boost. One could argue Gonk, the Power Droid, is the most fun Star Wars toy in existence. That is why he finds himself at number 2 on our list. Forget clicking heads. We could play with those crackly sounding legs all day long. His sticker does look a little more like the Power Droid walking around the Lars homestead than it does the monotone colored guy muttering Gonk on the sandcrawler. But with a figure this fun, who really cares? The Power Droid was not the most elaborate looking character, but he does look neat and he is unique compared to any other Star Wars figure. Loose mint Gonk goes for $15, which is not great from a financial perspective, but is priceless from a playability standpoint. Carded Gonks are priced at $250, with mint examples valued as much as $600. Gonk is so incredibly fun, he almost walked his way to number 1 on our list. If fun was the only factor we considered, the Power Droid would not only top this list, he'd be a contender for the best action figure of all time. How do you top a figure that is arguably the most fun action figure on the planet? With the help of the second coolest villain in the Star Wars universe. That's how. Boba Fett tops our 2021 back Worst to First list with a combination of amazing looks to go along with awesome collectability. There is no denying Boba Fett is one of the best designed characters in movie history, which is why he can get away with 3 lines and still be considered an iconic character. You'll note the figure is designed to accommodate the legendary rocket-firing missile feature, which was discontinued when a young boy tragically choked to death on a Battlestar Galactica missile. The feature is only available in early prototypes of the figure or in later reproductions of the vintage figure released by Hasbro as a mail-away exclusive in 2010. With a helmet only second to Darth Vader and armor second to none, Boba Fett is one amazing-looking action figure. Throw in a couple of value-boosting variants, and it's hard to argue against Boba Fett as the best toy on this countdown. Loose mint Boba Fett is valued at $40, with the light gray European variant priced at $80. 21-back carded Boba Fetts start at $3,000, with mint examples costing as much as $5,000. The fabled rocket-firing prototype is valued as high as $25,000. If you like your bad guys to kick butt and look good doing it, you'll love the Boba Fett action figure. That's why he ends up at number 1 on our 2021 back Worst to First list. Thank you for watching the Star Wars Worst to First 2021 back countdown. Agree? Disagree with us? We'd love to hear from you. Check out both of our countdowns and stay tuned for future lists from worst to first.